Hey, everybody. Welcome back to 15 Good Minutes. It's your guy, Coach B, as always, with the A-Team. JR, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good. Freddie, what's happening, man?
I'm great. How are you, Russ? How are you,
Very
Joe?
good. Very good. Very good. It's good to be back with you guys this week. We're going to kind of pick up the conversation a little bit where we left off last week. We were talking about the dynamic of coaching and a lot of things like that. And when we were talking about Coach Wright, the conversation was that, some of the speculation was that, this whole thing with the transfer portal is very difficult to deal with. So I want to open up and first get you guys' thought on what are your thoughts about how the transfer portal, at least as it pertains to NCAA basketball, is being used today?
I think for NCAA basketball, I think it is very effective. And the reason I think it's very effective is because the overall numbers of scholarship athletes you actually have on a team. And I think, for example, if they had and I think they do, or at least at the University of North Carolina, they did, transfer of the year. Who was that? Brady Manning, right? So it served its purpose. With college basketball, I think it works. In college football, I think it needs to be tweaked and worked out just because of the sheer numbers on the positions and things like that.
I like the transfer portal. I like the way they've changed the rule. From my aspect, the way I'm looking at it is from the players that I used to see sign with a school, and then the coach would leave and the player would be stuck. You understand? And getting a new coach. New coach might not like them like the guy who recruited them. You understand? And so I think from this aspect, both teams can part amicably. You understand what I'm saying? So and the kid doesn't have to wait a year anymore. See, that was the other part that I really didn't like about it. If I'm going to transfer to a school, I should be able to play. I think for a long time, the NCAA held all the marbles by saying you can do this. And if you got to wait a year, they were really trying to discourage a kid from transferring. That's all they was trying to do. So I'm glad about this rule, especially since they started talking about maybe paying people to play and stuff like that. Because come on, man, we already talked about this. It's a business.
Yeah, I'll be the odd man out then. I don't like it. I do for the reason that JR said. And I thought that was the intent. I sign up to go play because JR is going to be my coach. Good, bad, or indifferent. He gets promoted. I should be able to leave because that's why I signed. I have no issue with that. But the transfer portal was supposed to be because you had some kind of academic issue or there was something that you had to overcome. And I think that's bullshit. I don't think anybody's using it for that anymore. It's become a farm system. And if you get an opportunity, check out this podcast called All the Smoke that Matt Barnes does. And most recently he interviewed, Shaheen Holloway on some things. And one of the things they talked about was just that, JR, okay, how does the transfer portal affect you? And listening to it from a coach's perspective. And again, I think this might have something to do with why Coach Wright hung it up. Coach Holloway said it's difficult. He goes into a kid's living room today, JR, to your point about making money. That he said that's the first thing that the parents are asking now. It's all about name, image, and likeness. So it's not that they want to play for the great Coach JR. It's like, okay, Coach JR, what are you going to do for my name, image, and likeness? What are you doing for my brand? And he said that is a problem because not everybody, that's why he said he's trying to find players who emulate his character. Because now it's all about the money. I don't have a problem with kids getting paid. I think they should. But if that is now the first thing that's coming out of a parent's mouth, as opposed to how hard does my kid have to work, coach? Will my kid start for you by year two, coach? Those aren't the questions anymore. It's all about the business. And no matter what you tell that child and his parents, next year they're going to be leaving you and going somewhere else. So the amount of time you spend chasing stuff down, and again, it's not because they had poor grades or they couldn't get anything done. There's a loophole in the system. So I'm just saying, fix it, call it what it is, a trade system or waivers or whatever you want to call it. But you got some kids now that are playing for a different college every year because of the transfer portal.
I thought they can only do it once per their career in college.
Now I think you can transfer as many times as you want. To be honest,
Correct.
I think now when you transfer the second time in Division I, right? You transfer. I think you can play. But if you want to transfer to another Division I think then you have to sit out or something like that. I think there are stipulations. But to your point, JR, earlier, I don't like the fact that a kid, you commit to a school and a university, and you know my favorite coach is there. He showed me the most love. He gave me the most drip, when he was recruiting me or whatever. And next thing you know, he got fired, 1 year in, and then after my 1 year there, and then I should be able to transfer. No, I believe that, and I think this is something that is being lost in translation between whether it be the coaches, the parents, whoever, the handlers, whoever. You commit to a school, you commit to an environment, you commit to the structure that's there, because coaches are going to come and go just like the players are going to come.
But I beg to differ with you on that.
And so, because when you say, oh, I only want to play for coach so-and-so, and well, guess what? 9 times out of 10, if I recruit you this year and you play for me this year and I get fired the next, 9 times out of 10, I'm not getting fired because we had a bad year. Chances are you probably had a couple bad years prior to, unless you do something like, some sexual assault or breaking rules or something like that, or DUI or something like that.
Yeah, but take firing off the table.
Okay.
Let's just say the coach leaves.
The coach
he
leaves.
Get a better job, right?
Don't have to be
left.
But guess, right. But even still, okay, he
okay. Can I ask you? Okay,
but you committed to the university of wherever.
No, I committed to the coach that came to my house. That's who I committed to.
You committed to the coach that came to your house.
He's selling me. He's selling me a bill of goods.
The university.
He's selling me a bill of goods. I don't care how you put it. He's selling me a bill of goods.
Are you saying that because you think JR, that coach signs you because you fit his style or the way type of defense he plays or something to that effect?
At that university.
So now you get coach.
But Freddie, I don't think that's realistic, Freddie. If it was that university, the transfer portal wouldn't have over 3,000 active people.
And that is the reason
nobody's committing to schools, man.
Right. And that is the reason why we have 3,000 how many people in the portal in football or basketball.
Hold on, man. When the coach comes to your house, he tells you all this stuff you're gonna get, you're gonna love it here, and all this kind of stuff. The university don't come.
You just said you're going to love it here.
Exactly. But the coach is selling it. The coach is selling it, not the dean of the university. It's the coach.
The coach is selling.
And you know, if you and your parents don't have a good feel about that coach, I don't care what school he's at, you're not signing. Mm-hmm. And that's why the coach comes to you. That's why you think that Roy Williams comes, in his day, or Hubert comes now, because it's exactly that point. JR could be a 5-star player, but if I go and I tell him, you're going to have to earn a spot, which I'd be comfortable telling you that. But if we don't click, or when I leave, if him and his parents talk about it, they say, man, that Coach B, man, nah, that's their prerogative. So he didn't just say, I don't want to go to Carolina. He basically said, I don't want to play for Coach B. So I think there is something to be said that you have to fit into that style, regardless of the sport, of whatever that coach is doing. Yes, Freddie, he represents an institution in a university. But I mean, at the end of the day, and again, I'm taking this back to Coach Jay Wright, he recruited kids that fit that Villanova style, to include wanting to be a 3-4 year player. Mm-hmm. Right. So yes, they'll leave with that degree from Villanova, but I in this day and age, I can't believe that the number one thing is the school. One more thing I wanted to ask you guys before we pivot is, like, you both stopped coaching. We understand why. Tell me one thing you've been doing with your time since you stopped coaching.
Increased gym time, stuff around the house, more reading, more things that I never got a chance to do. If I want to go to the mall, go shopping, just things that I never, really got a chance to do, go travel or go do this or go do that. I think it's just more so living life more.
JR, you've retired from coaching. What's occupying that time now?
Officially, I haven't actually retired. The pandemic and my my medical condition. Unfortunately, I'm waiting on the kidney transplant, so I haven't been able to really do much of active stuff. I just started riding the bike last summer a little bit, so just doing things a little slow. Still going to work, stuff like that. Doing out collecting cards and just things like that sort. But other than that, I'm itching really to get back into the gym. Because I think I said a few shows ago, I used to instruct the martial arts. I've been doing that for about 20 years now. And the stop was like a shock to the body, So I just can't wait. I get back there, though, eventually, things turn out all right.
I don't know if I'm doing any one thing. If it is, I probably put more time into my photography in terms of the study, reading up on it. I can shoot anytime I want now, whereas before there was about a 5 or 6 month window that I just wouldn't shoot because I was doing something involving the program. So I've been spending a lot more time, getting deeper into photography and some of the other things that you guys mentioned. Just being able to spend more time with family and friends has been kind of cool as well. So thanks for that.
And I take more naps now too. I take more naps.
I take naps regardless. Ain't no coaching status going to change my nap status. You think I'm kidding? Call here and talk to D. She'll tell you. Napping is essential, man. It's essential. Ain't nothing wrong with it, Freddie. Listen to me, man. Naps are a good thing. And JR ain't saying nothing because if you do it, I got pictures of narcoleptic Eddie over there. We can't go nowhere, without him just, being in the middle of a sentence, Freddie. Middle of a sentence. Man. And then try to wake up all cool and shit and just start talking like we was talking about something. We've been driving for another 17 minutes and he wake up just come on, man. Come on. To this day, he still try to figure us out. So no matter what he say, he's all about that nap life as well. Question of the week. Freddie helped shape this up, so I'm gonna try to do it justice. What do you think about AAU and why? What do you think about AAU and why? Hit us up on Twitter at 15 Good Minutes or here on YouTube at 15 Good Minutes. And we are going to start off next week's conversation with some fairly pointed opinions on AAU. So we want you to kind of lead in and talk to us about that in the question of the week. As always, we do appreciate you guys rocking with us. We know you could, use your time and be listening to other podcasts, and we hope that you do. Again, if you haven't listened to All the Smoke, please check it out. Some very good stuff there. But we appreciate your time here. Glad we could spend a few minutes with you guys. Gentlemen, anything before we wrap up?
All's good in the neighborhood.
Hey, see you guys next week.
We will see you guys next week. Everybody have a great week. Be safe. We're out.